Hey cats, what's happening? Welcome to my humble abode today. This is the place I spend most of my time hanging out anyway. Hey, by the way, you know how long it took me to upload this video? Probably about 1 minute. Yeah, now previously it was taking me 8 to 12 hours to upload a 10-minute video. So, yeah, I'm 1 minute now because I've got new fiber optic cable underground up to the house, and no more worries, no more problems. My uploads, my download speeds are through the ceiling, and I couldn't be any happier. Now, here's the weird thing though. When I went online and I tried to cancel my old provider, I couldn't do it. I had tried going about different routes, and I finally ended up having to call them. And then, of all things, they did not want to cancel my service. They were adamant that I should not cancel the worst thing I could do. I can't cancel my... Why? I don't use your line anymore. Those were the guys that plowed in an underground phone line up to the house, and it was like in and out of the ground. They went over the top of roots and everything. I said, I don't want your service. I have brand new fiber optic line. Well, ended up, they said, well, here's what we'll do. We'll freeze your account where you won't have a bill anymore, but you're going to want us back one of these days. And yeah, okay, whatever. So anyway, that was taken care of. These providers though, man, it's like dog eat dog. They're out for blood to try to get your business. But anyway, I'm pretty satisfied, really, really satisfied with my new fiber optic cable up to the house. Anyway, the weather is still dreary. We have a lot of puddles in the yard. It's been raining on and off. It's still kind of cool and clammy out, so I have been out and doing a few odd things, here and there. Visited a buddy of mine and hung out with him for a while. And I got my taxes done, so that's out of the way, thank goodness. Things are going okay though, but I spend a lot of time here by myself. And it gets really, really quiet around here a lot of times, and loneliness, of course, comes in. I do miss my V so much, but I'm not going to be able to bring her back, am I? So I just got to move on and just deal with it. Put my big boy pants on and just figure out how to move ahead in this new chapter of life. But I was thinking the other day, I've been retired for over 6 years now. My career was with the county metro park system, Summit County, Ohio. That's Akron, Ohio. Akron, Ohio is the rubber capital supposedly of the world. That's where Firestone and Goodyear and some of those rubber companies were started in Akron, Ohio. Yeah, I worked in that park district which surrounded the whole county, and there was a number of satellite parks all over that county. I started right out of high school, and I ended up started out doing like mowing lawn, emptying trash cans and stuff, and kind of worked my way up through the ranks there until I retired as a project manager. But in those 44 years of my career, I knew literally hundreds of people that were employed there. Now, first off, every year they would hire seasonal kids, and dozens of them. So, and every year it could be a whole new batch of kids that came to work. And they would just do the menial labor jobs, emptying the trash cans, cleaning the toilets or whatever. While the full-time guys like myself could do bigger construction projects and whatnot. But there was a lot of times where I got to work with these kids, and over a period of a summer, I'd get to know them pretty well. Some of them very memorable characters, and some of them not so much. I've even had some of them come up to me on the street and say, "Hey, remember me? I worked with you back in 1976 or whatever." And for the life of me, I don't remember them because I mean, I probably only worked with them for like 3 months out of my whole life. And although I knew them at that time and, had some camaraderie with them on the work site, it's blank in my head. It's like gone. But anyway, I worked with so many other people. I mean, there was part timers, there was full time people. I worked with not only the maintenance staff, construction crew, equipment operators, carpenters, um, park naturalists. I worked with the park ranger department quite a bit and knew all these people. The administrators, was pretty good friends with them. But the guys that I worked with all the time, the core group of guys, the construction crews, the maintenance guys, the mechanics, and the carpenters. I worked with these guys so much over the years, and some of them were in for the long run, as myself. I was probably the only one that has worked 44 full years, which is a long time. But it was just a situation of my where I was in life and some of the wrong turns I had made. I had to do those extra years to be able to collect a full pension. And so that's why I hung in there that long. And it was well worth it too, because I'm living pretty comfortably right now. But anyway, in those 44 years, I spent a lot of times with that core group of guys. And we did all kinds of projects. We did, some challenging projects that were almost beyond our level of uh, expertise, but we managed to do them, and we were pretty proud of the jobs when we were done with them. I mean, I did concrete work. I did paving, asphalt paving. I did underground culverts and drainage systems, electrical work, framing construction, building pole barns and other structures, building bridges, working with heavy equipment, excavators and earth moving equipment and cranes. And so there's a wide variety, a great diversity in the work that I did, and I loved it because of that diversity. I was never doing the same thing every day. And one of the biggest jobs we did all the time was forestry work, which is chainsaw work. So I was a tree feller. I was the guy that notched and dropped the tree, and another guy was a tree climber. He could climb up the tree like a monkey and do whatever work had to be done up in the top of the trees. And then we had a whole crew of guys that could work on the ground, that could run the ropes, that could run the equipment, to haul the materials out, to chip the brush up, to grind up the trees and do whatever we had to do. That was a great big deal of my job too. But these guys were like brothers to me. We worked together all the time. We joked and laughed on the job. We fought on the job like brothers. We ate lunch together and shared food. Aside from that, though, some of these guys were even to the point where I went fishing with them. I went camping with them. Uh, we did extracurricular things, other than just when we were off duty. We partied together too. We had some big parties, cookouts, and whatever. So I mean, these guys were like family. And when you think about it, when you work with somebody for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week plus, I mean, there was times where I did 60, 70 hours a week. But I was always with these guys. Probably more time spent with them than I did with my own spouse at the time. So, there was a kind of a really tight bond there, a brotherhood that we had, just between employees. Now, granted, there's always a few guys that are just kind of like the problem child, the idiots on the job, the ones you just as soon not give the time of day to. Yeah, that comes with the territory too. But I mean, a lot of these guys were really good guys, and take it or leave them. I, I accepted all of them as part of my family, no matter who they were. But then I retired, and the funny thing is after I retired, I can, I, I can probably count on three fingers maybe out of all those people that have maybe somewhat stayed in contact with me. The rest of them I've never heard one word from in 6 years. Not boo. Well, now wait a minute. I shouldn't complain too much because one guy did invite me to the Christmas party they had for a couple of consecutive years. Last year I didn't get an invite to their Christmas party, so that may be a thing of the past now. I mean, the crews change over the years, and half the guys probably wouldn't even know who I was if I walked back into the shop again. They'd think I was just some patron coming in there to ask a dumb question or something. Hey, probably, I don't know. But yeah, I it doesn't really bother me because I don't think about it a whole lot. But I just stopped here recently to ponder that, and I thought, wow, that's weird. That I spent all that time with those guys, and then it's just kind of like poof, like I was erased from them, erased from their contact list. I think that's kind of strange. But in retrospect, as I think back, I think, okay, in a career or employment, you, you don't really get to pick and choose who you work with. It's more of an assignment. Like, I took on the job, I was hired on, and then I was placed on a crew, and I didn't get to pick those guys. They were just already there, and we had to accept each other the way we were because we had no choice but to go in there every day and work with the same guys. So it's a little different than being able to like hand pick your friends, to to choose your compadres. In that case, you didn't have any choice. They were kind of like put in your path, so you pretty much had to deal with it. And you kind of grew a bond because of all the time you spent together. But perhaps in reality, you weren't very compatible with those people in the first place. Uh, we kind of led different lifestyles. We did. We had different families. We had different hobbies, different habits, and so when the day came that I retired, that was kind of the end of it. They kind of said, all right, he's gone, just move on. Okay, who do I got to work with now? You, and you. Okay, well, let me deal with you guys now. And I think that's kind of how it goes. Do I wish I still had a connection with those guys? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if I had a phone call from one of them just to catch up once in a while or just to see how things are going. I have one guy that kind of communicates with me once in a great while. He likes to send me little text messages and kind of keeps me filled in a little bit about what's going on. Other than that, they do. My employer does still have an annual employees luncheon or whatever they call it. I don't know, but that's hosted by the park system, and you go there and they give you sandwiches and a bag of chips or something, and then they put on like a presentation to show you what improvements they've been making and kind of the path that they're on financially. And so it's kind of more like a business meeting thing just to keep you updated as a retiree about what's happening in the organization. And I appreciate that because but the thing is not everybody goes to those things. I mean, a lot of guys that are retired that I used to work with, just are like, I ain't going to that thing. You know, I could care less. Um, I'm the guy that always wants to go because I'm always interested in what's happening. And I'm always interested to see who's going to show up there. You know, old faces that I haven't seen in a long time. So yeah, I'm one of those guys that'll do that. I'll show up and just to kind of stay in touch. As far as retirement goes, I'm happy to be retired. I'm so happy to be retired. I don't have to worry about a schedule anymore. In fact, half the time I don't even know what day of the week it is. I have to look at my calendar. Like, wait a minute, what day is it? Is it? No, it's not Sunday. It's like Tuesday. But that comes with it, you know. And then the thing is, I can stay up as late as I want. I can go to bed when I want. I can wake up in the morning whenever I want, unless I have an appointment or something going on. Yeah, I don't have to kowtow to some strict 8 hour a day schedule and, you know, have to go in and wonder what am I going to be into today. Now I get to make my own plans. I get to be my own boss. And I can appreciate that. I mean, for me, it's working out really well. Now, like I said, it's sad that I lost my wife, and I miss her very much, and I miss the camaraderie that her and I had, and the love and the affection that we had. We were very compatible. We did everything together. If you've watched a bunch of my old videos, you'd see that we loved doing all kinds of adventures, anything we could find to do. It was like at least once a week we'd find something to do. And we were just so very compatible together. We were like two peas in a pod. You know, it's like it says in the Bible when you get married, the two become one. And we were definitely two people melted into one because we were we never argued or anything. Everything just went really smooth in our lives, and it was just like always in total agreement on what each other's plans were and stuff. So now I make my own plans. Now I do my own thing. I'm learning how to survive as a old retired hermit back here in the woods. Life isn't so bad. Not to mention, I do have my circle of friends that I'm around pretty much all the time. I mean, anytime. I have guys that I could go visit them right now and hang out with them for hours. I have guys that'll come over here and hang out with me. I have neighbors that'll come over here and hang out with me, or they'll invite me over to their place to hang out with them. So there's no need for me to be lonely. You know what I'm saying? I've got a lot of opportunities here. Well, anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough for today. I'm not gonna go out anymore this afternoon. I've been out all morning, and I'm finally back home. I'm gonna get myself some dinner, and after that, I'm gonna sit right here and chill. Maybe do some editing, maybe watch some other YouTube videos. Oh, in fact, I don't have to watch them on this monitor anymore. I get to watch them on this monitor now in full high def 4K definition, and it is wonderful. Wonderful. I could be addicted to watching that TV all day, but I don't do that, guys. I really don't. I try to stay active. Pretty soon I'm going to be outside. As soon as my yard dries up. Right now, you go out and walk in my yard, you might as well be walking on a wet sponge and have muck boots on. It's that bad. So as soon as the yard starts to dry out, I can get out there and start doing some gardening and some yard work. Well, anyway, thanks for all your support. Love you guys. Love your comments. Appreciate it. I read every one of them. I do respond to some of them, but it just I spend like an hour going through hundreds of comments, and I keep scroll. Oh my gosh, there's more. There's more. There's more. There's more. It's a good feeling to know that you guys are out there, and I do appreciate every one of you. And I do keep you guys in my prayers. Some of you need it a lot more than others. I I know some of you are hurting physically. Some of you are hurting mentally or psychologically. You've been through some hard stuff and you're dealing with it. So I'll keep you guys in my prayers. I need your prayers just as much. You know, I mean, God's been good to me. God's been gracious to me. And I'm just blessed beyond measure because I've been faithful to Him. The blessings are abundant. Look at everything I have. I just can't even comprehend. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go now. You know what I always say, ride hard and die free. Till next time, cats, I'll catch you later.